Bonjour à vous tous. Bienvenue à la dernière conférence du comité militaire de 2020. On nous apprend au début de notre carrière à la planifier en fonction des attentes, à nous préparer aux imprévus et à prendre des décisions difficiles. Cet ancien axiome approuve sa pertinence cette année. 2020 peut être qualifié
2020 can be best characterized as unexpected and tumultuous. It has required all the agility that NATO has become famous for. For over 7 decades, this agility, underpinned by the bond between Europe and North America, has made NATO the strongest alliance in history.
We are bound together by our history, common values and shared goals. Together we work to prevent conflict and preserve peace for 1 billion people. Our solemn commitment to each other is that an attack against one ally is an attack against us all. This bond guarantees our security and prosperity and allows us to live in freedom. The strength of NATO is that in spite of our differences, we are able to unite around our core task, to defend each other and to keep our people safe. We are on duty, NATO forces on duty, across operations, missions and activities, managing ground, air and naval operations in many environments in every domain. And we have sustained our activities and missions and operations throughout the pandemic. We continue to adopt our posture, our plans, our strategy and concepts against old and new threats, and many have made the ultimate sacrifice. I would like to pay tribute to all serving military personnel and remember the sacrifice of those men and women killed or wounded in the line of duty. Before we begin the conference, I want to express my personal gratitude and thanks on behalf of the whole of the Military Committee to Italy, to General Enzo Vacchiarelli. This conference was due to be held in Rome, Italy, and we greatly appreciate the efforts of the Italian military and civilian staff involved in preparing for the Rome event. Enzo, I want to recognise the extra level of effort and complexity that has faced your team, and I offer my own personal thanks to those who worked so hard to pull together the conference. Regrettably, it was not to be. The conference would have seen chiefs of defence travel from across the alliance, and so we had to make a difficult decision, and you can see the current data from the World Health Organization. General Vacchiarelli, Italy has always been there for NATO, and your country plays a key role in our alliance. So can I thank Italy for all that you've done and continue to do. The pandemic presents an unprecedented challenge to our nations and continues to have a profound impact on all our people and our economies. The Alliance continues to stand with all those affected by the crisis and is deeply grateful to all the healthcare services, first responders, essential workers and research institutes. I paid a visit to the Centre of Excellence for Military Medicine in Budapest in July, and I have to say, could I ask the Chiefs of Defence to thank all the medical personnel in uniform for all that they have done across the Alliance throughout this crisis. It has demonstrated we're resilient and united. NATO, our member nations and partners are rallying in the face of uncertainty, change and a fluid security environment. NATO defence ministers agreed a new plan this June, Operation Allied Hand, under the command and guidance of SACEUR to ensure we're ready to help both allies and partners. This involves a new stockpile of medical equipment, a new fund for purchase of supplies to provide immediate assistance to ensure assistance gets to the right place at the right time. We work closely and continue to work closely with the European Union, other partners, and increase our broad preparations to respond to health crises now and in the future. NATO and allied militaries continue to play a key role in supporting the civilian response to COVID-19, airlifting supplies, transporting patients, and constructing field hospitals. It's also worth remembering our deployed forces. NATO and our partners are helping local authorities in locations where we're deployed, including Afghanistan and Kosovo, as well as offering assistance to our other partners such as Bosnia, Herzegovina, Georgia, Ukraine, and the Republic of Moldova. The pandemic, however, continues to claim lives and cause social and economic hardship throughout the alliance and across the world. Therefore, we have established the Pandemic Response Trust Fund. It is a multi-million-euro trust fund which is scalable to complement the efforts of allies and other organisations. COVID-19, however, has changed our lives in ways we did not anticipate, magnifying existing trends and tensions. Russia continues its military activities unabated. ISIL and other terrorist groups are emboldened, with both state and non-state actors actively disseminating disinformation and propaganda. There are also wider security challenges for economic and technological supremacy and increasing competition against both our values and our way of life. Global competition never stops. State and non-state actors continue to jostle for advantage. NATO's experience and expertise acquired over 7 decades allows us to learn, adapt and strengthen our capabilities. We've strengthened our military posture from the Black Sea to the Baltic Sea. We've combat-ready troops in the eastern part of our alliance. We're raising the readiness of our forces, increasing our ability to move them and modernise our military command structure. We've delivered NATO Readiness Initiative, and we continue to strengthen our hybrid and cyber defences to remain at the forefront of technological change. Yesterday, just yesterday, our Joint Force Command in Norfolk in the United States reached initial operational capability, and congratulations to them. A crucial link within the alliance to achieve enhanced domain awareness in the Atlantic. Our collective success hinges on our ability to work together and share information and experience to ensure regional security and stability. The command in Norfolk will focus on joint and multinational operations in the Atlantic, with close coordination across all domains. Space was declared as the 5th operational domain for NATO alongside the others, part of our daily lives. While space can be used for peaceful purposes, it can also be used aggressively. Satellites can be jammed, hacked, or weaponized. We've also enhanced our resilience by updating baseline requirements for telecommunications infrastructure, including 5G. We are addressing the rise of China as both a challenge and opportunity. And as the Secretary General, who we'll speak to later, says, they are coming towards us. We remain committed to strong deterrence and defence while remaining open to meaningful dialogue with Russia. We're responding to Russia's missile systems in a defensive and coordinated way and remain committed to strengthening both effective arms control, disarmament and non-proliferation. We're working with over 40 partners across the globe, as well as, of course, closer to home, the European Union. History has taught us we are stronger together. That is how our alliance has become the cornerstone of transatlantic security. This committee provides strategic military advice to the North Atlantic Council. We are responsible for translating political decisions and guidance into military strategy and recommending measures considered necessary for the defence of the alliance. We play a vital role in strengthening the alliance's resilience. Defence ministers agreed this April to update alliance baseline requirements for national resilience. The pandemic has made that an urgent task. These requirements cover critical sectors such as energy, transport, and communications, as well as new technology. They address cyber threats, the security of supply chains, as well as foreign ownership and control of infrastructure. any vulnerability in these areas can be exploited by potential adversaries. Today's agenda will focus on NATO's operations, missions, activities, the fight against terrorism, deterrence and defence of the Euro-Atlantic area, NATO warfighting capstone concept, as well as a discussion with the Secretary-General. We will begin with our NATO-led missions in Afghanistan, Iraq and Kosovo. Our resolute support mission in Afghanistan is a testimony to the Alliance's long-standing commitment to Afghanistan and the Afghan security forces, with both allies and partners fighting shoulder to shoulder in pursuit of security and stability. An enduring and comprehensive peace agreement should put an end to violence, safeguard the human rights of all Afghans, uphold the rule of law, and ensure that Afghanistan never again serves as a safe haven for terrorists. Our military presence and that of our partners in the Resolute Support Mission is conditions-based. We continue to consult and, if conditions allow, adjust our military presence to support the peace process. In Iraq, we've maintained our presence. Canadian Major General Jenny Carignan is commanding our advisory and training mission from within the country. Due to COVID-19, we've suspended training, but our mission is getting back to business, and we're planning with our Iraqi partners. Closer to Europe, our KFOR mission continues to make an important contribution to stability in the Western Balkans. In line with its UN mandate, our KFOR mission continues to provide a safe and secure environment and freedom of movement for all communities in Kosovo. We regularly assess our KFOR mission, and all allies agree we should maintain the current strength of roughly 3,500 troops. We've enhanced our presence in the eastern part of the alliance with multinational battle groups in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland. They are combat ready and demonstrate the strength of the transatlantic bond. We have a presence in the skies with our air policing missions, defensive missions that see Allied aircraft patrol the airspace of member nations. Our standing naval groups are present in our waters from the high north and Baltic to the Aegean and Black Sea. The multinational integrated force is continuously available to perform tasks ranging from participation exercises to conducting NATO missions. This is what we mean when we talk about the Allied Response Force. We have Patriot missiles deployed in Turkey. We provide AWACS support to the global coalition to defeat ISIS, and when required, carry out disaster relief operations and missions to protect populations. We strengthen our cyber and hybrid defences to remain at the forefront of technology. Working with our nations, we're exploring what more NATO can do to fight terrorism, build stability and strengthen partnerships. We actively monitor both disinformation and propaganda, which tries to sow division and undermine democracies. We counter false narratives with facts, with values and with actions. Later today, we'll discuss deterrence and defence of the Euro-Atlantic area. The alliance is reforming its command structure, increasing the readiness of its forces to deliver credible and effective deterrence and defence. As part of this, we've developed a new military concept. This helps us set out NATO's priorities and approach to current and future threats. It brings together current military thinking so we can face a more unpredictable world and deal with the consequences of a changed security environment. We will exchange views on Russia. Russia's aggressive actions and willingness to use force constitute a threat to Euro-Atlantic security. NATO has a dual-track approach to Russia, deterrence and defence and dialogue. We're delivering on both tracks. We have enhanced our deterrence and defence. At the same time, we remain open to dialogue with Russia, including in the NATO-Russia Council. However, Russia's posture, doctrine and rhetoric remain a concern, so we remain vigilant. The Secretary-General will join us, and you may wish to discuss NATO 2030, a reflection process which he launched this year. It's an opportunity to look at how our alliance will be 10 years from now. It's about making the alliance stronger politically and more global from a strong military base. Staying strong militarily means we have to continue to invest in our armed forces and modern military capabilities. Therefore, the committee will focus on the future and discuss the NATO's warfighting capstone concept, which supports adaptation of the alliance. It provides for us a warfare development framework for 20-year horizon. and you, the Chiefs of Defence, have directed this work. Before we proceed with our meeting, I would like to welcome new faces on the video link today. The Albanian Chief of Defence, Major General Badram Begash. The Belgian Chief of Defence, Admiral Michel Hoffman. And the Norwegian Chief of Defence, General Erik Kristoffersen. Welcome to this unique body, Badram, Michel and Erik. I look forward to your contributions and receiving your advice. Today, as you can see, hopefully by camera, we're supported by our two strategic commanders, General Todd Walters, Supreme Allied Commander Europe, and General Andre Lenata, Supreme Allied Commander Transformation SACT, in the room. As the Chiefs of Defence, your role is to offer everyone, particularly this committee, your advice and guidance on current and planned activities to enhance security and stability. On conclusion of this meeting, I will capture your comments and advice, pass it directly to the Secretary-General of the North Atlantic Council ahead of the next Defence and Foreign Ministerial meetings, as we do after every meeting. This concludes my opening remarks. We'll now reset and begin our first session.